Dawn Brancheau was an American senior animal trainer at SeaWorld. She worked with orcas at SeaWorld Orlando for 15 years, including a leading role in revamping the Shamu show, and was SeaWorld's poster girl. She was killed by an orca, Tilikum, who was also involved in the deaths of 2 other people. What's up, guys? Iceman here. So this story, of course, is about a lady who tragically died at SeaWorld by an orca who, to my understanding, was there for quite some time. But before we get into it, I'd appreciate it if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, and subscribe to the page if you haven't yet. And make sure to hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And if you want to support me further, you can become a patron or a channel member. Links in the description below. Dawn was born in Cedar Lake, Indiana, and was the youngest of 6 children. She set her heart on becoming a Shamu trainer during a family vacation to Orlando. She graduated from the University of South Carolina with degrees in psychology and animal behavior. Away from work, she volunteered at a local animal shelter, looked after 2 chocolate Labradors, and kept a variety of stray ducks, chickens, rabbits, and small birds at her home. Brancheau spent 2 years working with dolphins at Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey before beginning her career at SeaWorld Orlando in 1994, initially working with otters and sea lions. In 1996, she married Scott Brancheau, a SeaWorld stunt water skier, and she started working then with orcas. In 2000, she appeared on NBC and talked about staying physically fit in order to deal with the intense rigor of working with orcas. She ran marathons, cycled, and lifted weights to stay in good shape. In 2006, her decade of work with orcas was profiled, including her leadership role in a 2 to 3 year revamp of the Shamu show. Brancheau acknowledged the dangers of working in close proximity to orcas. As a senior trainer, she appeared in various SeaWorld public performances for many years. The Shamu show's interaction of animal trainers with orcas was regarded as SeaWorld's star attraction. She was featured in SeaWorld billboards throughout Orlando. Judge and Supreme Court Justice, Judge and later Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh, a dissenting judge in a legal case involving her death, stated that to be fearless, courageous, tough, to perform a sport or activity at the highest levels of human capacity, even in the face of known physical risk, is among the greatest forms of personal achievement for many who take part in these activities. On February 24, 2010, Brancheau performed a Dine with Shamu show with Tilikum, the largest orca at SeaWorld Orlando. In this setting, guests ate at an open-air restaurant while watching the performance poolside as the orca performed and was fed. As part of the end show routine, she was at the edge of the pool, rubbing Tilikum's head. She was lying with her face next to Tilikum's on a slide out, which is a platform submerged about a foot in the water. She was pulled into the water by her left arm. The incident was caught on film. Some witnesses reported seeing Tilikum grab Brancheau by the ponytail or shoulder. The orca's move seems to have been very quick, pulling her under and drowning her. At least a dozen patrons witnessed Brancheau in the water with Tilikum. Employees used nets and threw food in the water in an attempt to distract him. Moving from pool to pool in the complex, they eventually directed Tilikum to a smaller medical pool where it would be easier to calm him. After approximately 45 minutes, Tilikum released Brancheau's body. The autopsy report said that Dawn died from drowning and blunt force trauma. Her spinal cord was severed, and she had sustained fractures to her jawbone, ribs, and a cervical vertebrae. Her scalp was completely torn off from her head, and her left elbow and left knee had been dislocated. Dawn's body was buried in Cook County, Illinois. Dawn's death has been seen as a factor in starting a trajectory of recalibration for SeaWorld. In addition to the impact of OSHA-imposed safety-based abatements of previous work practices to prevent further similar events, Cowperthwaite began working on Blackfish in 2010, following Dawn's death. Initially having questions about SeaWorld's ponytail hypothesis, Cowperthwaite's background research suggested to her that there were problems with keeping captive orcas. SeaWorld disagreed, characterizing the film as propaganda. After its release in 2013, the film awakened a national dialogue about the issue. SeaWorld struggled with the effect of Blackfish on public perception, and there were some cancellations by music performers who had planned to hold shows at SeaWorld. SeaWorld then transitioned to being a publicly traded company in 2013. Lawmakers in California and the U.S. House of Representatives proposed legislation to phase out orca captivity. In March of 2016, SeaWorld announced it was discontinuing its program of breeding captive orcas. Jeez. What do you guys think about this situation? I remember when I was a kid, I actually went to SeaWorld, and I saw the whale that they called Shamu. Now, I think they call a lot of the whales that, so I don't know if it was the one that was featured in this incident. But it's horrifying to think of what happened to this lady. To my understanding, the orcas are very intelligent animals, and a lot of them, even though they settled with it for a long time, they probably start to get very uneasy in captivity. And to my understanding, some argue that they go through psychological trauma from being stuck in those enclosures. But just like any other animal, they can, at times, be unpredictable. And in the wild, these creatures are a force to be reckoned with. According to my limited research, these whales are like the king of the ocean, pretty much. There's nothing that can stop them in terms of other creatures who live in their ecosystem. They're known to kill great white sharks and even sperm whales in some isolated incidents. I've seen videos of them swimming alongside blue whales and eating their tongues out or something and killing the whale just for its tongue. And of course, blue whales are like the largest creatures known to ever exist, and these orcas can really just bully them if they want to. Now, I know that there is limited information of human orca incidents in the wild, and to my understanding, there's actually no recorded incident of certainty that an orca killed a human in the wild, but there are countless incidents of people getting lost at sea with some evidence of orcas being in the area, so it remains in question if whether or not the orcas had something to do with their deaths. But they are fascinating creatures. But I know one thing, I sure as hell wouldn't want to get in the water with one. The males can grow up to 20 to 26 feet long and weigh 12,000 pounds. And in my opinion, these things should be approached with great caution. But of course, these trainers are a part of something bigger. They're a part of a business and they're trying to make a living. And these incidents were far and few between. And just like any other animal, sometimes they just crack and go crazy. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this incident in the comments below. And like this video if you will, and subscribe to my page for more chilling tales from the Iceman.